What's up, guys? Welcome to the world's greatest sports betting show. I'm your host, John Hyslop, joined always by my friend with the red hat, the great Matt Modi. What's up, dude?
What's up, Slop? How we doing?
Just living the dream, man.
Living the dream.
Beat up pretty bad in the NFL yesterday. It was, I think, the second week in a row that's happened where I knocked down the first game, so I was like, sweet, and then really didn't hit much else afterwards.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, the Sunday night game really did not go the way I was expecting it. I thought it would at least be close. Just didn't expect the Bills to get completely boat raced. But yeah, I had a fine day yesterday. I think I was up like just over a unit, so we'll take it.
Yeah, no, up anything is good with me.
Yeah.
Even like down like less than a unit, I always count it as like, yeah, that was all right. You know what I mean? Like, because it's, you're getting it back. You know what I'm saying? You really didn't do any damage. So if that was one of your down days, then like, sorry, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? I want all my down days to be like less than a unit. Then I feel like that's a win.
Yeah,
but
especially
no, I may have cracked the code.
Oh, yeah?
Because I was live betting the night game just because I was bored. And, well, live betting, I put in one bet. But, like, I just waited until the Bills went down the field. Like, all right, so Bills go down. I believe they had the ball first. Don't get anything. Henry takes that one to the house.
Yeah.
And then, so now the Ravens have touched the ball once, even though it was literally once. And they scored. So Isaiah Likely's still on the table. This was when I thought Likely might have a game. So then the Bills come down. I think they kicked the field goal.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. And then that's when I was like, all right, well, I'll take Likely 25 plus at plus 136. It was like minus 115, you know what I'm saying, earlier before the game, like pre-flop.
Yeah.
And it's just like, you know what? Like, that is a real opportunity that I think we're missing by not live betting it. Does that make sense? Like when you're just swapping it?
A lot of people do that with if you're in the NBA, if you're betting on a player that comes off the bench, they won't bet his props until like the game already starts. Because like, let's pretend every game he comes in after 6 minutes. The odds are going to be different because he didn't play for the first 6 minutes, even though you already knew that was going to happen. So yeah, I think there is some logic to that. Yeah, you just run the risk of like, let's pretend you waited to bet Derrick Henry rushing yards, and then he takes
well, you can't. That's what I'm saying. You just can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So that's now off the table.
Yeah.
But and I would push back on that, saying that if you were taking his rushing yards, you would definitely take that pre-flop just because, or you would take it before they touch the ball, just because you know they're going to run right away. You know what I'm saying? With receivers, you kind of are good because they might not catch one on the first drive. Like, that's not out of the ordinary at all for a guy not to catch a ball. And maybe if it's a number one, maybe not, but I don't know. But yeah, no, so I was looking at that. That's one thing to do. Also, too, you might want to, you might just wait to see who gets the ball first. So if the other team gets the ball first, and then let's see if they drive down and score. Because if they do, I feel better about that bet now.
Yeah, true, because they're gonna be passing.
Yeah. And you might be getting a little bit better of a line. That's all. And again, none of this is guaranteed, but I'm just saying you're gonna get a better number because he caught one ball for 26 yards.
Yeah, I mean that's all it took.
Yeah, that was tough. I was right on Justice Hill and wrong on Likely. I figured it was gonna be Hill and Likely, or Hill, Likely, Andrews, like slash that, but they did not need anyone other than Henry and then Hill in the pass game.
Yeah, Hill got like half the targets. It was crazy, or maybe half the receptions, whatever the number is. He got basically all the passing work.
Yeah, that guy was going nuts.
Yeah, the Ravens. I never know how to bet the Ravens because if they're winning, then Derrick Henry's going to rush for 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. If they're losing, then it's going to be like a 50-50 split. So really it's a game script kind of thing.
Yeah,
with the Ravens.
Well, the Justice Hill would be the reception guy. Again, live bet.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Just see how the game starts to play out and then figure out which piece, you know what I'm saying, which component really hasn't done anything yet. Their number's probably suppressed. And I'm sorry, the price is probably pretty good. And the number might get suppressed.
Could be both. Yeah, could be both.
So, all right. Other than that, though, I think Deontay Johnson covered for me. I think I had Marvin Harrison Jr. 80 plus, did not get home. Justice Hill over 2.5 receptions plus 140, had that, but BetMGM only let me bet like $1.60. So that didn't do me a lot of good. Trying to think what else I have. I'm going to change my approach slightly this week. I won't knock any of those Justice Hill ones, like those type of bets that you see early on and you just hammer it at BetMGM because they have plus 140. I didn't hammer ESPN later on at plus 110 when I probably should have.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
like
always
the
tough.
rest of the unit. You know what I mean? Because it's still plus money. It's still something you like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's always tough when you can't get the best price, or the best price is on one of those lame books like BetMGM or Fanatics or Bet Rivers. I never know what to do in that. Even DraftKings will limit me.
Yep, DraftKings does it to me too.
Yeah. I was on Marvin Harrison Jr. with you after that first drive. I thought we were cooking, and then they forgot he was there the rest of the game.
It's crazy because like there was a direct correlation in them winning or being even and losing by how much they targeted him, particularly.
I don't understand.
Are you watching?
Yeah. It doesn't make, especially against the Commanders. Like if you're ever going to get a plus matchup to just hyper, like did they not watch the film against the Bengals or against Malik Neighbors or against Mike Evans or Chris Scott? Like, I don't know. I don't know what the Cardinals are.
Smartest guy in the room thing. It's like, yeah, they didn't see that coming. So let's do this. You're like, well, I feel like that. I mean, I know it's like kind of a one-trick pony offense when you do that, but like it's a pretty good trick.
If the trick works, yeah, it is Galaxy. It's 100% Galaxy brain type stuff.
So, I don't know, but what else do we do?
I had the Marvin Harrison. I laddered Nico Collins, so I got him all the way up.
Good.
Yeah, that's when you hit one of those. The thing, I mean, this isn't breaking any news. This isn't rocket science, but if you hit one of those plus money plays, your win percentage doesn't have to be as high to make money. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if people know that, but that's how it works.
Oh, my record's terrible, but my ROI is hovering around 9 right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's what happened.
Yeah. I posted something on Twitter yesterday. My record was like, I don't know, 6 and 42, and I was up like 16% ROI because it's like my record was 18 and 42, 16.83% ROI.
Like that's again, man. That's how you do it, dude. Like that. There's no other way. All right, well, let's get going, man. We got 2 games tonight. No more baseball. I mean, there is baseball. So baseball, guys. Here's the thing. I'm a dinger guy, and so is Modi. Maybe we could do strikeouts in the playoffs, but dingers are off the table. Like the pitching's just way better. You don't see a lot of, for lack of a better term, bums get rolled out there in the playoffs that can just get smashed. Like it's legit. I don't know. I'm not saying guys don't hit home runs in the postseason. They do. Obviously, they hit home runs.
It's a lot harder to predict.
Good luck predicting that. And with the odds you're given, okay. Not even close to what the true odds should be for a home run. So, like I said, like you got pitchers that you would avoid all season long, all of a sudden are the only options for you to target now. I just feel like that's a waste of time. So I move on and I watch baseball as a purist for the love of the game.
There you go.
So, yep.
I will. I'll give a quick honorable mention. I like for the game 1 of the doubleheader today. It's early, so I'm not getting this out as an official play, but I like Michael Harris. Going up against Tyler McGill, who I nicknamed Meatball McGill. He's actually been really good recently, but my analytics have like a 50% home run over expectation when your nickname is Meatball McGill. So I like Michael Harris tonight.
We call him tape measure McGill, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah, same concept.
So football, we got 2 Monday night games. I love when they do this. I'm going to do some live betting, so I haven't really dug in yet on the bets. Usually when we do this show or when we have this conversation, I've already had bets in. I do have bets in, but they're not my real bets. And what I mean by that is I did a no sweat SGP for $10 at DraftKings because they would only allow $10.
Yeah.
I did a bonus bet, $10 bonus bet at DraftKings. So it's for $10. I did a $10 100% profit boost at Caesars because they would only allow $10. So you're starting to catch the drift. You know what I mean? So there's going to be, so that's 0.3 units I got out on 3 different wagers. So I'm going to need more because I mean, I'm not unit shaming at all. I'm saying everyone has that, like where they feel comfortable. And I'm about like, I like $100 per unit. And I feel like I got action. You know what I mean? When I have $10, I feel like I don't have any action and I don't like it. I don't like it.
This is a pro. We don't unit shame show.
No.
You would never catch us making fun of somebody for having small unit sizes, right?
Yeah, Monahan was on Twitter the other day.
I wasn't going to call him out, but that is,
and I was like, bro, man, like I like Alex. You know what I mean? I didn't like write anything. Like some guys were like quote tweeting him and stuff like that. And like I wasn't trying to shame him for unit shame. I don't unit shamers. You know what I'm saying? I just don't unit. I mean, I don't know if the guy had $25 and he's looking for advice. Like, all right, so Arbing is probably out, definitely, or whatever he had. So. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell you got to get a job. Just be like, all right, well, bro, like your options are pretty limited. It's gonna be you're probably betting a quarter a game. Is that 1% of $25?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're betting 25 cents per game, and you're just gonna have to grind it. And then I would recommend that you add to it, like as like you know what I'm saying. You get your paycheck this week. Well. Put $10 more in my gambling fund. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how you gamble. Like that's it. There is no, I just keep going to my bank account and taking out. No. You have gambling money that's in the book. That's over there. That's it. That's all you got. So if you got $25, you're a 25 cent a unit bettor in my book. That's That's 1%.
Yeah.
Per bet. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna grind it. You're gonna learn how to bet. If you want to really learn if you disagree with that and you want to learn why that's right, go bet as much as you can afford on everything. Right? Do that.
See what happens.
Yeah, do that. Go broke, and then you'll be like, oh yeah, that's why you do it. You know what I mean? Honestly, I think that's the best advice for anybody. That's like 20, 21. You don't have any responsibilities. You got a decent job. You're making a little more money than you ever thought you'd make. And you have no responsibilities, go lose your ass. Go do that. And like, trust me, you learn bankroll management really quick. Like that. You're like, oh shit, that's why I just lost all my money. I have to work an extra shift at work. You know what I mean? Like to pay for what I lost. Well, guess what though? You learned something though. You learned. You lost, but you learned.
And you'll never do that again.
Exactly. And you just don't do it again. And then you realize, okay, cool. I have my $25. It's $25. You know what I mean? And that's all you get. It's 25 cents a bet, and go to it, man. And if anyone unit shames you, they have no idea what they're talking about. They don't. Because they don't know you. Like, this is for you. This ain't for them. Like, don't worry about them. It's for you.
Yeah.
Do what's right for you. But anyways, no unit shame. I hate unit shame. I think it's so dumb, man. We've all been everywhere, dude. If you've never been poor before, then I don't know if we even get along. Because you know what I mean? Because like you have that like connection. You know what I'm saying? Like you just, I don't know. It's different.
Yeah, I wasn't going to call him out by name, but that is exactly what I was referring to when I said we don't unit shame. And I mean, like I said, I don't have anything against him, and I'll leave it at that. But no unit shaming here.
No, I like Alex. Alex is a smart guy. Alex is he demolishes DFS sites. Just single-handedly, just like puts them out of business. I mean, the guy's dropping like $500 on 5-leggers and shit like that. But I mean, he's built his bankroll up. I'm just saying. Don't fucking come on, bro. Like, be nice. It's fine.
Yeah, and like
I've met Alex. I bet you money he read that. He was like, "Fuck, man, I probably shouldn't have said that." You know what I mean? Like, he was fired up. But anyways, we're going on to football, and like I said, I only have the $10, like three different bets at like $10. So it's like, I don't know. But the first one, might as well just jump right in here. You're gonna like this. Tyler Huntley. 225 plus is plus 550 at DraftKings. I don't think it's that crazy. Like, you want me to explain, or are you just going to be like, I don't want to hear anymore?
No, I mean, you had me at plus 550, so please.
Okay, so let's go with Tyler Hunt. Like let's start with that first. All right, so we're at FanDuel here. They've got 450.
So they know he's going to hit.
But they know what time it is. All right, so that's one thing. I'll bring up the I had it on my other one, Tyreek, but we'll get to that in a second. But I mean, I do feel like this is a little bit out of control just because he has only done this once in his career. It was 270 he went against the Browns in like 2021. So there is that. We don't really have history on our side here, but do we need history? Because he's only started like 11 games ever.
He's a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah, that was a wild Pro Bowl, but I mean, we will give him a Pro Bowl. But yeah, he's only started 11 career games, which doesn't seem like a lot because it's not. So there is that. Let's see. Yeah, we're at 550. They have the best price, man. I mean, 375 at ESPN. I mean, all right, so Huntley, I don't think he's that bad.
He's not a bum.
No, I don't think he's that good. But like everybody's like, oh well, he's been a backup. Well, he's backed up Lamar Jackson. I mean, I don't know if you've heard of him, but like, he's good. So there's that. So that's why he was a backup. And then they didn't re-sign him this year. Maybe, I don't know why. You have no idea why they don't re-sign him. I keep hearing people, oh, well, they would have re-signed him if he was good. Like, really? Like, I don't know. Like
I mean, it's possible that Tyler Huntley saw an opportunity where the starting quarterback had a lot of concussion issues, and he thought, oh, maybe I'd have a better chance of starting a lot of games if I played for that team. So if you want to spin zone it, that's why he chose the Dolphins. Not that he didn't re-sign with the Ravens. He chose the Dolphins.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we spin it, but so there's that. But then he's only 26. So he's not this old dude. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the league for 3 years, I think. That's it. So I mean, like, to me, that's a plus. Like, we're not getting somebody at the back end who was never really good. Like, we don't know if this guy, if we've seen the best of him yet. That's all. Like, again, I've watching him play when Lamar went out. That's not an offense. That was like a hand the ball off, quarterback run. That's a way different offense than you'll run anywhere else. You know what I mean? So there's that. That can definitely explain why he didn't have the passing numbers, because they just weren't set up to throw the ball. All right. But he, again, go watch. He kind of slings it, man. They call him Snoop too, so that's big.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like that. I was a big Snoop Dogg guy when I was a kid. What else was there? Oh, the other thing is there's a guy named Tyreek Hill that plays for the Dolphins, and there's another guy called Jalen Waddle. Both of those guys are as electric as it gets. They could catch one and take it 90 yards to the house, no problem, like a screen, and they're just gone. So there is that. And then there's the coach. Dude, that coach is not looking for a game manager type, I don't think. Like, or you know what I'm saying, like to the extent of like a Skylar Thompson. They're like, yeah, no, we're out. Tim Boyle, no, we're out. You know what I mean? Like there's no way he doesn't want to hang 40 on everybody. You know what I'm saying? No matter who his quarterback is. So there's that. You know what I mean? Like, Skylar Thompson went for $107 in the last game against the Seahawks before he went out. He was 13 of 19 for 107 yards. Then he went out. Boyle came in and went 7 for 13, 79. So add those two numbers together, we're like almost at $190. That's not bad. Like that, you know what I'm trying to say? Like that's what that offense will produce, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And
that's your floor.
Yeah, like I think that they could get that. So if you wanted to do 200, obviously you could, but this was a bonus bet, and that's just not how I typically roll with bonus bets. Like, I'm gonna kind of push the envelope, but dude,
yeah.
The 200 is 255. I mean, dude, that's the last point I'll make. It's 200 passing yards in the NFL. That's not that many. Like, really,
True.
like plus 255 plus 550 for 225. That's it. He does not need to set a record. He has Tyreek Hill. He has Achane too. Take one to the house. He don't like.
Yeah, Achane can take a screen.
I just think that if you're Tennessee, you're trying to make him throw. So that's another thing about working with us. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to be like, hey, we just don't let Tyreek Hill beat us. You're like, no, just don't let him hand off the ball, and I make this guy throw the ball.
Yeah, don't let him run himself as the quarterback. Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought that was a decent look, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say about that.
I like it. I mean, I'm not going to talk anybody off of a plus 550 bet. And I think the context of like it's plus 550 and he needs to throw, like most quarterbacks throwing for 225 is a bad game.
Yes. And it's like minus 250.
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously like the context is important, but like you said, I mean, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill had a 90-yard touchdown catch in week 1. Like he could do that. And I agree with you. Like the way that if you're the Titans, you say the way that we're going to lose is if we get beat on, we let them run all over us. So let's not let that happen. and they just make him pass. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I might sprinkle on that one myself.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I do recognize what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I do know that I'm saying Tyler Huntley 225 plus. I just saw the price. I was like, that is bananas. Because we haven't seen this guy with Miami. They have seen Thompson and Boyle, and we're like, no. You know
Absolutely
what I mean?
Not.
We're all set. So, and the idea that he just walks in and they're like, yeah, well, all right, here's the keys, buddy. You know?
Could happen.
I think he does it, dude. Like, I cannot wait to watch this game to either be way wrong or like really right.
Yeah, he's going to throw for 100 or 250. There's nothing.
He might not break 100.
Yeah, correct.
If he doesn't, but whatever. It's either going to be really good or really bad. Those are my favorite bets. All right, go ahead.
I love it. All right, so I have two backing the same guy. I'm putting a half unit on Tony Pollard 60+ rushing yards, plus 150 odds at DraftKings. I also put a half unit on Tony Pollard to score a touchdown, which last I checked was best offered at plus 190. So half unit on each. We're risking a unit total on Tony Pollard. He was really good in weeks 1 and 2. He hit the 60+ rushing yards in both weeks 1 and 2. He scored in week 1. And I admit, like, me and I, from what I saw, a lot of people were on him last week against the Packers, which you would think of as being a plus matchup. And he did absolutely nothing. I mean, he was terrible. He had basically rushed for 1 yard a carry. The Titans only got close to scoring once, and it didn't go to him. So I think people are a little bit off his scent because of how bad last week was. But we can forgive one bad game. If it becomes a routine, then that's a little bit different. But you can run on the Dolphins. And I think that the Titans have seen enough of Will Levis just losing game after game after game for them, like 3 straight games in which Will Levis is almost directly responsible for them losing. I can't imagine they're going to let him throw very often. And especially, I mean, even if Snoop throws for 225 yards, like, we're not expecting this to be a high flying game. So they should be able, they should be able to.
That's another beautiful part. They don't even need to really do anything. Like, just 225, dude. It's like, man, that's a shit game.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shit game and cashing plus 550.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can run on the Dolphins. Week 1, Tank Bigsby, 73 rushing yards on 12 carries. ETN, the actual starter, didn't have that great of a game, but he did score a touchdown, 12 for 44 with a touchdown. Week 2, in basically one half of football, James Cook rushed for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns on 11 carries. He also had a receiving touchdown, 7.1 yards a pop. Easily could have hit 100 if that game was even remotely close, which it wasn't. And then last week, Zach Charbonnet, who looked like he was running in quicksand the first 2 weeks of the year, rushed for 91 yards on 18 carries, and he scored 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
So, like, a very inefficient Seattle Seahawks rushing game, and Zach Charbonnet put up 91 yards and 18 carries, 5.1 yards per carry. And the Titans offense, like, this isn't me saying that they're a great running offense or a great offense in general, but at least they're giving the majority of the work to Pollard. He gets 65% of the running back snaps, 60% of the rush attempts. And that's the 10th highest rush attempt in the NFL. And that also does include QB scramble. So if you just look at running back rush attempts, the number is even higher. He also has a decent target share, 13.8%. That's 8th in terms of running backs. That's the 3rd highest on the Titans. So if he maybe doesn't get it on the ground, he could have a receiving touchdown. And like I said, he hit the 60+ number in weeks 1 and 2, scored a touchdown in week 1. I'm guessing this is going to be like a gross slugfest. Oh, it just went down to 170. I guess DraftKings is watching.
They know.
But yeah, half unit on each. That's all I was saying. Half unit on each. Tony Pollard 60+ rushing yards. Tony Pollard anytime touchdown.
I was going to say, looking at the board, you know how I think we always say this, that FanDuel is the correct number for touchdowns, which is why they're higher a lot of times. Whenever they're lower than everyone else, I always think to go grab it somewhere else, because I always think that they might be like, I think they honestly give us as close to fair odds as possible.
Yeah, I confirm that. There's someone that works for an IGN competitor, so I won't say the company, but they track like what sportsbooks are sharp and what markets, and he confirmed that FanDuel is the sharpest in player props. Like they track that data over the course of time. And they confirm that FanDuel is the sharpest on player props.
Okay. Yeah. I just eyeballing it. I feel like when you look at this shit every day, you know what I mean? Like you pick up patterns. I don't know how your brain works, but I'm pretty sure it's pretty close to the way mine does, where you're just constantly looking for angles and patterns, and like you just see them. Or like one always emerges that, man, FanDuel always has the best price on certain touchdown guys, and it's almost like you don't really want to go hammer all those just because you're probably just getting fair odds. You know what I'm saying? They're not necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like, since the others might just be whatever they are, but there is a world where you're just getting what the fair odds should be, and the other books aren't just giving you that. So that's why. But to the same thing is, whenever you see them lower than everybody, that if you're right about the fair odds, then you should probably hammer it somewhere else at the best price.
Yeah, and and even plus 170 on DraftKings is like, I mean, plus 140 Bet Online, plus 138 Caesars, and then you said plus 130 at FanDuel.
I always look the FanDuel first for touchdowns just to see what they're hanging. Because I'm dead. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally off. Like I could be, but I just feel like you're just getting like the closest to the fair odds. You're probably not getting actual like what the odds really should be, because they would never do that. Obviously, they need to make their money.
Yeah, but I always do that with yards too. Like if all books are aligned on like a player prop's yards, and then FanDuel is different, FanDuel is almost always right. Like when they're the only one that's different, more often than not, FanDuel is the one that's right. You know what I mean?
Yep. All right, so the other one I'm going to do in the same game, I did it the same book. We can talk about the Lions Seahawks in just a second, but it's I mean, probably not a secret now, but Tyreek Hill, 60 plus receiving yards. That number, here's the thing. You got to do it at FanDuel, because that number at FanDuel is like 136. I did it at Caesars at plus 110 just because they gave me 100% profit boost. So I'm trying to use those profit boosts over there and see if I can figure out a way to get like the limit up a little bit. But they only give me $10. But 60 plus across the market. Why doesn't it show it? I know 60 plus exists because I just bet it. All right, there it is, 59.5. Okay. So 128 at Ballybet. I don't know if that's a real book, because they said they were coming to Massachusetts. I haven't seen them. No one's seen them. I
honestly thought they went out of business.
Yeah. And every time I see lines, they are way higher than, you know what I'm saying? You're like, all right, there's no way this is a real book. Like, I think that's a fake book. But yeah, like, I mean, I don't know. It's plus 115 at Bovada. 54.5 is minus 114 at Bet Online, but plus 136. The reason I did it at Caesars, again, you're like, oh, well, how come you took it at plus 110? Because it was actually plus 220. I mean, it's only for $10, but like I said, I'm just trying to build a ticket here throughout the day, and then I want to definitely allocate more money to the live to see if I really have cracked the code. And I think I did. But yeah, 136 at FanDuel. Again, if you have that at Caesars, I mean, it's plus 220. We're talking about Tyreek Hill, like 60 yards. He's got Snoop throwing to him. You already believe in Snoop. I don't know. I just think last week too, if you didn't learn by his whatever you want to call that video, the arrest video or the cuffing video, because I don't think he got arrested, but like the cop video, you're dealing with a diva. All right? Like, he's a diva. It's fine. He's a wide receiver, though, so you probably didn't even need to see the video to know that he's probably a diva. Like, anytime you got those number one receivers. He had a horrible game last week, and it probably had a lot to do with quarterback play, and not great the week before against the Bills. So, you know that, I mean, you're going to have to keep him happy, and there's only one way to keep him happy. It's just pepper him with targets. I think Huntley can do it. I really do. I really think Huntley can get him 100 plus. I'm dead serious when I say that. So 60 plus, I'll take that, dude. Like, that could be one catch. One catch.
Sorry, I muted myself. 60 plus for plus money is crazy. It's like it's the same thing. Like, Tyreek Hill's over under is normally in the 90s, if not 100.
Yes, dude. I don't think Huntley's that bad.
Yeah.
If it was Royal, I'd be like, oh man, 60. I'd probably still do it. Even Thompson, just because it's Tyreek Hill, and it's like, dude, like somehow, some way. But I've seen enough of Huntley, dude. I'm dead serious. I remember when Jackson would get hurt and it would be Huntley, I would always look to see what those numbers were, like what you know what I'm saying, if there's anything I could finagle, because he's not as bad as the books say he is. But I mean, the books are doing it from his performance. But again, you got to remember, it was the Ravens offense. That's not built for guys to just like drop 300 passing yards unless you're Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. And also, from memory of watching him, he'll at least sling it. Like, he's not just a Charlie.
Dude, he's not a bum, dude. Like, dude, you wait till tonight. Watch, dude. This guy will like rocket one. Like at one point, you're just like, dude, what? Like, are you a backup for real? Like, because he doesn't look like a backup. It looks like this guy's just like, what up, dude? Like, we're ready. So and people are saying that it's plus 500 at DraftKings now for Tyler Huntley to go 225 plus.
They moved both the Tony Pollard play and the Huntley play. I think they are listening.
They are listening, dude. All right. So I don't want to totally shortchange the other games. So do you have any looks? Like, what are you thinking about there? I know it's only like 11 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast, so we don't really have to have something right this second, but anything?
Oh, for game 2, for the other Monday Night Football game? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm prepared. I got I was on this play as soon as I looked at the matchup. I was just waiting for odds. I took Jackson, Smith, and Jigba over 4.5 receptions. So I got it at minus 115. Last I checked, it was best offered at minus 120.
Yeah, that thing's flying. It's higher than that. I maybe the best offered is in the 120 range, but
so it was bet 365.
Way off of that. Yeah, it's like
Let me see if it's still there at 365.
I mean, no, that's to you. You know what I'm saying? That's hats off to you for that one.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that people can still get.
They'll be able to get it somewhere, but wait till you see. Watch, I'm gonna bring it up. Wait till you see where everybody is kind of moving to. It's not even just like one book, two. Like they're all going that way, which is definitely what you want to see.
Yeah, and to confirm, the 4.5 receptions. You're on yards. You need to go back to receptions.
Oh, my bad. Damn, dude.
It's all good. It is still minus 120 at bet 365.
Okay.
So at this moment in time, it's still minus 120. Anyways, I climbed the full ladder on him up to 8+. So I took 5+, 6+, 7+, and 8+.
Dude, we could just struggling.
There you go.
I'm in.
We're on it.
I'm back.
Not to confuse the super booster with the graphic. You can just put the over 4.5 at minus 120. But for the people listening, I climbed him all the way up to 8+. I mean, this dude's just going to get peppered with targets. He had a weird week 1 where he only had 2 targets. We can kind of explain that away because it's week 1 and week 1 is always weird. And then week 3, he had another weird game where he only had 3 targets, but that was against the Dolphins with Skylar Thompson and Tim Boyle, who only scored 3 points. And that was also the game where I mentioned they ran the ball a ton with Zach Charbonnet, who had a really good game. Number 1, you can't run on the Lions. I don't care that Kenneth Walker's back. I'm still on this play. You can't run on the Lions, but you can pass on them. We've talked about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think me and you have talked about it multiple times on the show. They're a pass funnel. They want you to throw the ball. And
Tommy G says that the way they play run defense is why. It's not even that like they're so good at stopping the runs. They just dedicate like an extra guy or something. I can't remember what he said. But he said that, and I agree.
I believe it. I mean, my eyes tell me that you can't run on them, but you can throw on them. And yeah, they don't have like a Vita Vea up front, so I'm with that. And the 1 week I left out was week 2. Week 2, he had 12 receptions on 16 targets. He had 117 yards. And if he has another 12 receptions, then we could even climb higher than the 8+. But that was a game in which they said, all right, what happened last week, we can't have that happen again. That was against the Patriots, who are also a pass funnel, who you generally can't run on, but you can throw on. And like I said, he exploded in that game. And the Lions have given up the highest target share specifically to the slot receiver. Now, a lot of that damage was done in week 1 with Cooper Kupp when he got like an absurd 20 targets. But still, even if you just look at like on average, and even the other 2 games, they gave up a lot of targets specifically to the slot receiver. And that's why this is a Smith and Jigba game as opposed to a DK Metcalf's. Smith and Jigba heading into week 4, obviously this game's on Monday night, so there are a ton of people ahead of him. But heading into week 4, he had run the most routes in the slot in the entire NFL. About 85% of his routes are run from the slot, which is where the Lions defense is weakest. And then they also give him like these stupid line of scrimmage targets, like these dumb that go nowhere targets, but he'll catch them. That's all we care about for this one. He'll catch them.
That's why you don't do the yards.
Exactly. So
although I would do 80+ or something like that, but that's just because I think there's going to be so much volume.
Yeah, and he has an 80% catch percentage because he gets all these crazy targets, whereas DK Metcalf is below 75. I think he's below her, and is also DK Metcalf's ADOT is way higher. So all that stuff is connected. So yeah, I'm fully on board with Jackson Smith and Jigba. Over 4.5 is my official play at -120. I took him all the way up to 8+. And if you wanted to really go crazy and take 10+, I wouldn't talk you out of it.
Nice. Yeah. So that's one guy I was looking at. I was just going to do the entire, well, not the entire, but him and Geno. So Geno, 225+ passing. This is in like an SGP.
Okay.
It's out right now on 4for4 if anyone wants to go check that out. But yeah, 225, just like we were talking about earlier, like 225 for Geno Smith.
It's a lot different.
Is -240, -250. You know what I'm saying, in that range. So you throw that within Jigba's 40 yards, I think is what I did, and then go back to JMO and go with his receiving yards. It was at like, I think 35.5. Like I did at DraftKings, so they don't do the every 10.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they do the every 10. Sorry, so every 10th, 20th, 40, 50, all that. So that's why it was 35.5. But I would be willing to go 50+ on JMO tonight. That was dude. People are going to be off him because the last game, that wasn't his fault. That was not his fault at all. That was just the way that game played out. Yeah. I do not see a scenario where the Lions keep the Seahawks off the board as long as they want to do what that new OC wants to do, which I think they do want to do that.
Ryan Grubb.
Yeah, just throw the ball. Like it's like watching Washington last year.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't love is like the Seahawks. I mean, they don't play slow, but like the Lions play kind of fast, so that's good. Like they're like number one in the NFL, 70 plays per game. But that's not my favorite metric to look at because that can be skewed by overtime games and stuff like that. But I mean, they run 70 plays a game on offense. So.
Pace of play is probably what you're looking for.
Yeah,
which I don't.
Pace would be better. I don't know where we can get that. Do you know where to get that?
No.
Like how often do they run a play? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
maybe sure seconds per play. All right, so if you go seconds per play, 28 seconds is Detroit. That's 8th in the NFL. Seattle's 10th. So we should get a decent pace here. That's all you really need. It kind of hurts the other game, though. Tennessee is 31.9 seconds per play. So if you had Will Levis as your quarterback, you would be wanting to take as much time as possible to call them to run a play.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That checks out. But anyways, it would be, I would say JMO, we could probably go 50+. I'm trying to think what we could do for number. There's 50 on the nose. Oh, that's BetMGM. They're weird, huh?
Yeah.
Over 50.5. You're looking at like +115 at Caesars, +117 at Bally. Obviously, it's probably not even a real book. +124 at DraftKings, 135 at DraftKings. I'm sorry, +124 at FanDuel, 125 at ESPN Bet. So 135 is probably your best bet. I think JMO can kind of go off this week. If you go back and look at Seattle's schedule, they have yet to play an NFL quarterback. Did you know that?
Bo Nix, Skylar Thompson, and Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you held Brissett. Like, dude, Brissett, it's not totally his fault. If you watch them play, he has no time. Like, I would sue if I were him. Like probably another, but I'd like, this is fucked up, man. That should be a criminal charge because that is not cool, bro. Like, you're trying to get someone killed because like the guys that you put in front of him to block. I think one guy playing left tackle, they're like, yeah, well, he played it in high school. And you're like, you gotta be joking me, dude. Like left tackle, the position that goes like they could go first in the draft, you go top 5 all the time, like that important position. You got a guy playing that you just like,
that's your selling point.
Yeah,
he played in high school.
Yeah, he played in high school, so he's good.
He's fine. Yeah.
Like I don't know. So, but my point is, I do not think we've seen a team, or Seattle has seen a team that could tee off on them like this team could. Because I keep hearing about their pass rush, and it's like, dude, you throw out the New England game, that doesn't count. Don't tell me about your pass rush. Yeah, like, and then be like, look at that. And then I think Bo Nix runs for his life too, doesn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they've had the easiest defensive schedule through 3 weeks in the NFL. Like like I'm looking at FTN DVOA. They have like literally the easiest defensive schedule in the NFL this year.
Yeah. So like they're like, oh, what about their pass rush? Like, well, I hope they look pretty good.
Yeah. Let me see it against a real team. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to be on the road. But I guess my whole point is their offense though can still score on these guys. So we can get some sort of, little baby shootout going. Like I'd almost think about the over 46.5. I think that hits.
I would agree. I mean, have you looked at the last 2 times these teams have played against each other?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, it's crazy. Let me pull up the exact numbers. Seahawks Lions history. So they played the last 2 years. Last year, the game went into overtime, but it was 37-31.
Jesus.
The year before, it did not go into overtime. It was 48-45. The year before that,
it'd be so fun, dude.
Also did not go into overtime. Was 51-29.
Okay, so yeah. I mean, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the color schemes, because it is a pretty sweet color game.
It is. Yeah, that's true. It is.
You know what I mean? Like I would say go with the old school Seattle uniforms, though, instead of the new ones. Just for this one, that would be pretty cool.
For this game, yeah.
Yeah, just for the game. All right. You got anything else?
That's all I got. A couple. I mean, some stuff I was looking at, but I've gotten in the habit of playing one game too heavy, and then if the game goes haywire, then like, oh, I just lost everything. So that's like my self scouting has been to not do that as much. So I'm just rocking with the JSN for the latter game. Yeah,
I'm gonna try to balance a lot more, and that's gonna be like a thing. Like again, every sport's different. How you attack it, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I've learned in the last 4 weeks is the balance has to be better. I think I can do it. I mean, I'm making good reads, good calls. I mean, yesterday we had a receiver, I don't even know what it was like 25 to get like 80 grand, but like the first 2 of them cashed, and I almost put in Mike Williams instead of the Conklin guy. So we could have gone to the 4:00 games, which would have lost because we had Wilson, but like we could have gone there with that, so with 3 down of 6 and to get 80 grand. So, I mean, I feel like the reads are getting right. Like the reads are right, but it's just like, it's more of a matter of what you're saying. Just when they go wrong, you don't want to lose as much. That's all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. That's I've been good now. I'm in the green on the year. I've been in green 3 straight days, but self-scouting the days where I struggled, I was like, oh, I played that game too heavy. I had 2 plays in it and I was just down 2 units because like one game went haywire. Like the game script was just all wrong. And the next thing you know, you're out.
I just want to incorporate some more live. So I don't want to be too heavy because I think live betting is probably the way to go. I don't know. Another way to go is the merch store because it is incredible. I don't know if you've been there, but it's just, dude, we've got more and more merch. They say that wearing our gear is not going to make you a better gambler, but it's going to make you look like one. I'll definitely give you that. You can't win if you don't bet. That's my favorite shirt. I mean, if you have that, people know that you know what's up. You know what I mean? Like they're going to look at you and be like, man, look at this guy. Like he knows what's going on. Real Men Bet Overs, another one that's just ridiculous. There's
Real Ladies Bet Overs.
Yeah, Real Ladies Bet Overs too. There's one for the ladies. Paige wanted that, so we got her a shirt in there. But I mean, it's just the hoodies. It's hoodie season, so you might as well jump in on those. We have all those in hoodies as well. But the hats, the candles, the can coolers, it's all deadly. I mean, it's so good. But hit that. It supports the content definitely because you don't want to have content that costs money. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to have like, just a way for people to actually get something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if they want to express themselves. I think that there's no real gambling gear out there, and I think that we are overlooked as people. I think that I do, bro. Like someone said the other day, some dude was just like, I think he was a doctor. He said MD in his Twitter handle. It was just like, yeah, that you shouldn't be able to spread your disease to other people. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah, that's a little much.
That's a take because you gamble. You know what I mean? So I think we push back a little bit and just let them know that, hey, we like to party and this is what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles look like they're going to have a bad year. So what's my healthy alternative? Just not care about them and gamble through it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly, 100%. That's the only way to get through that entire year. And like I said, maybe if you had a shirt that said "Real Men Bet Overs," it would make you feel better about the whole situation.
Yeah, it probably would.
Okay, so it looks like Huntley 225 plus. Again, I'm sorry if that's a little bit out of like what your brain can comprehend. I do understand what I just said when I said that. So that could go terribly wrong. But again, it's plus 500. Tony Pollard 60 plus rushing yards. That's plus 150. Tony Pollard anytime touchdowns plus 170. Tyreek Hill 60 plus receiving yards plus 136. Jackson Smith and Jigba over 4.5 receptions minus 120. And J-Mo 50 plus receiving yards plus 135. I don't know. I think all those are going to hit, dude. I think you can parlay that.
I agree. And your first Tyler Huntley play reminded me of the funniest criticism I've ever gotten on my YouTube channel. That guy said, you throw out these long shots that only hit at 50%, like only hit half the time. I was like, oh, that's it.
But if I could do that, I don't know that I'd be making YouTube videos ever.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I would just be on an island somewhere just cranking out plus 500 bets over and over and over. And I would never use my brain for anything else other than that.
That was his exact quote. You throw out these long shots that only hit half the time. It's like, oh, that's okay. Sorry, I'll try to be better next time.
That's awesome. Now people, man, they don't get it.
Yeah.
All right, man. I will talk to you tomorrow. We don't have a lot to talk about. So what I was thinking was maybe we just kind of look at the NBA. I don't really know anything. Like I'm at the point where I'm like, oh, that guy's on that team. You know what I mean? So, but there is strategy involved with NBA, just like we were talking about with NFL, how you kind of don't want to be, overweight on a certain game, blah, blah, blah. Like there's strategy. So I think we should probably go through, talk about what strategies we're going to employ early in the season, halfway through the season, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I'd say let's just save the end of the season stuff because like everybody knows like we're just betting the bench warmers and
the nasty boys.
Yeah. So there's that. But I think having that talk would probably help me and getting me on track with like the way I want to go about the NBA early on. Maybe I don't stumble out of the gate like I do with every sport, except for baseball. Somehow a miracle, $10 to get 10K parlay. But yeah, generally I come out of the gates kind of slow in every sport just because I don't really think about the strategy of it as much as I think about the pick. You know what I'm saying? I'm always thinking about the pick, and I'm not really thinking about what the strategy is.
Yeah, so. I make the same. I've noticed that I'm a little too reactionary at the beginning of the season and not enough forward thinking,
Yeah. Well, just how you structure your bets can probably help us out too. So we'll talk about that. And then that'll be it. We'll probably get into the Thursday night game. Obviously, we'll probably get to it Wednesday just because that's just the nature of the beast. All right, bro. I'll talk to you later, man. Tell people where they can find you real quick. That way they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Jedi Modai in the description of the video if you're interested. I'll post YouTube videos. I posted one for tonight. I'll get out an early Week 5 NFL video, and then I'll post my Newsweek articles as well. Break for Newsweek. All that stuff's on Twitter at Jedi Modai.
Awesome. All right, bro. I'll see you tomorrow, man. Also, too, we're doing the live stream. I think it's at 3 today. Or 4 today. I don't know. It's at 4 probably. It'll be scheduled on this channel, though, so the smartest thing you can do right now is subscribe to the channel. That way, and get the notification on. That way, you'll get notified as soon as we go live. But we're going at 4 p.m., and I can't wait. See you then.